If you've ever looked at your life and thought, who the hell even am I anymore? Not as a brand, not as a mum, not as the strong one, just you. Yeah, same. Because when you've spent your whole life surviving, performing, caring, pushing, you don't find yourself, you lose yourself. Slowly, quietly, while everyone tells you how strong you are. Hey up, I'm Leigh, and this episode is called Who the Fuck is Leigh? Because honestly, for a long time, I didn't know either. If you hear weird noises in the background, I swear it's just the dogs, or it might be me rustling through my notes, because hell yeah, I need notes for this. This podcast and the whole no bullshit business reset exists purely because I hit a point where I couldn't keep building a business, at least not the way the internet told me to. I also couldn't keep living like I was. So today I'm going to tell you who I am, where I came from, what I've done for the last 26 years. God, it's been 26 years. And why I'm so bloody allergic to the 10K cult. Quick note, I am going to mention abusive relationships and burnout. No details, just context. So if that's tender for you today, take care of yourself. Right, let's go. I grew up on council estates. My mum worked multiple jobs just to keep the lights on and food in the house. I was a kid, but I also wasn't, because I had responsibility early, helping to look after my younger siblings. The kind of helping that is not pocket money and praise. It's parenting before you've even had a chance to be a child. And that matters, because when you grow up like that, you don't really get time to ask, what do I like? What do I want? Who am I when I'm not needed? You learn to be useful. You learn to cope. You learn to perform like everything's fine. And if you're listening to this thinking, oh, that sounds like me. Yeah, that's not a personality trait. That's a survival skill. My dad, on the other hand, was the opposite energy. My parents split when I was a toddler. They both went on to have other kids. My dad was self-employed, always had a skill, always had a business idea. At one point, he was a pub landlord. He really enjoyed life. And he planted a belief in me early. You should own your own business. Not because it's easy, but because it gives you options, freedom, and control. So I did. I started my first business when I was 15, cleaning houses and doing meal prep for my dad's regulars. I had big plans. I thought I was about to build the next big thing. And then life did what life does. I got pregnant at 17. And from that point on, my life became survival. Not the glam boss babe survival, the real Hunger Games style survival. I survived 2 abusive relationships. Each one resulted in me having a child. My daughter was born when I was 18. My son was born 11 years later. And boy, did I feel that age gap. In between, I did what so many women do. I kept going. I kept running little pocket money businesses, bits and pieces, enough to bring something in, enough to feel like I had something that was mine, to feel like myself in those tiny stolen moments. But when I got pregnant for the second time, I knew I'm going to be raising my son on my own. Not just alone, solo, 100%. I need more than pocket money. So I tried ideas. Lots of them. Jewellery, nappy cakes, gift baskets. Eventually, I landed on novelty chocolate. And this is where it gets wild, because that business started to scale. It wasn't just a little side thing, it was turning into actual income. I was making plans for the next stage. Hell, I was talking to a national company about being stocked in their hotel chain. I was like, ooh, this is it. And then my son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. I closed that business almost overnight. Not because I didn't love it, not because I wasn't capable, but because the plan relied on something that was no longer true. It relied on me having more time and energy as the years went on. And I knew in my bones, he's going to need more support, not less. So I became his full-time carer. And for 6 years, my life was home educating, advocating, juggling care, still doing small businesses here and there, but mainly, I was just holding my family together. And I don't say that for sympathy. I say it because it shaped a pattern that I had to unlearn later. a pattern a lot of you probably have. I learned to build my life around what other people needed, not what I needed. When my son wanted to try school, I thought, okay, this might be my season. I might have time. I might have space. So I started building again. Send Story Bears, a physical product business, and I started to scale it. Then COVID hit. I was not prepared for how fast things would move. Within 3 months, I was hitting 4K a month revenue. Sounds amazing, right? Except there's one part nobody puts in their success story caption. I couldn't keep up with orders. I was working through the night, sleeping 2 to 3 hours after the school drop-off, waking up and doing it all again. Trying to be a parent, a business, and a person on fumes. That is not success. That is slow motion collapse with nice sales numbers. And around that time, I had another massive light bulb. I realized I was neurodivergent myself. Because everything I'd been learning to support my kids, turns out the daughter's autistic too, it all just clicked. Suddenly my whole life made sense. So I made a decision. I sold the bear business. Not because I failed, but because I was not willing to keep paying for revenue with my nervous system. After that, I started building other ideas in the background. And I found what I'm genuinely made for. Helping others get started in business. Helping make things profitable without the bullshit. And I was fucking good at it. I was working with paying clients one-to-one, building a group training program, planning a membership. I had energy again, purpose. I felt like I was coming back to myself. And then my son's care needs increased. He was offered a placement in a residential school for children with complex needs. And honestly, it broke my heart. But it was what he needed. So I stopped. I took a 3-week holiday to process everything, to breathe, to plan the next stage of my life. And then I did something that sounds impulsive, but was actually the most me thing ever. I moved to the other end of the country. Just packed a suitcase and went. My daughter's an adult, living alone. She's got a boyfriend and a support network. I thought I'd take a few months to settle, then get back to business full time. That was October 2023. By New Year 2024, I had a breakdown. Full breakdown. Couldn't get out of bed, couldn't function. And it wasn't random. It wasn't weakness. This was the bill coming due. Too many years of doing too much, combined with the pressure I was putting myself under to grow my new coaching business in a way that didn't fit me, didn't fit my life or my goals. If you've ever had that moment where your body just says, nope, we're done, you'll understand. As I recovered, I got a 9-to-5, but it didn't feel right. The consistent income was good. Still, I missed my business. I missed the freedom. I missed creating. So I reopened one of my physical product businesses, making dog harnesses. I attended markets. I talked to people. It felt good. And I still couldn't help myself. I was helping others with their business too. Tips here and there, advice over coffee, problem solving, strategy, how to price with confidence. Yeah. Then while visiting my son, I injured my knee. I lost that nice 9-to-5 job because I physically couldn't do the work anymore. Even sitting at the sewing machine became painful. I was struggling to attend events on crutches. 6 months later, I need a wheelchair to get around. And that's where I am now, feeling lost, defeated, like life keeps moving the goalposts. And when your body changes and your capacity changes, it can mess with your identity in a way that it's hard to explain unless you've lived it. Because suddenly the things that made you feel capable, productive, reliable, and strong aren't available in the same way. So you're left with this horrible question. Who am I if I can't push through? And then I realized something. The only way I was going to enjoy anything, the only thing that was consistently lighting me up, was helping other people build businesses that actually fit their lives. So I decided I'm resurrecting the basics, bitch. But this time, I'm doing it my way. Sustainable, honest, built around my real life, not somebody else's roadmap. And I've added a new mission, helping women avoid the hell that I went through, because burnout is no joke. If you're listening to this thinking, I've built something but I'm exhausted, I don't recognize myself, I'm done with hustle culture, but part of me still thinks I have to earn rest, I want a business that feels like relief, not pressure, you're in the right place. This podcast is your permission slip and your game plan. Not to quit, not to give up, but to stop performing success and start building something you can actually live inside. I'm going to be sharing a mini-series. It's going to hit what burnout is really costing you, how to map your real season, how to build offers that don't destroy you, how to deprogram from the 10K cult, and what business looks like after the reset. Because you're not broken, the system is. We're not fixing you, we're burning the bullshit down and building something better. If this episode felt like a mirror, take a breath. You're not alone. And if you want to go deeper, then the No Bullshit Business Reset is the full rebuild, designed for women in their burnout recovery era who want stable income, sustainable, without sacrificing themselves. All right, episode 1 is next. What burnout is really costing you? Let's do this.